Welcome to our webinar entitled The Future of Enterprise Productivity. My name is Colin Gelfer from Atrium, and I lead our customer engagement team. I'll be your host as we discuss how to drive productivity in your company by combining the predictive insights of Tableau and Einstein with the workflow capabilities of Slack. And after our presentation, we'll show you these capabilities in action with a short demo. Atrium's a consulting partner that helps companies maximize their investments in Salesforce.com and customer experience capabilities by combining CRM strategy expertise with data science and analytics so that we can push insights into cloud applications to drive action. At Atrium, we're really focused on helping clients take advantage of this generational shift that we're seeing in the enterprise today as companies move towards more intelligent systems. For the better part of 30 years, we've asked CRM users to capture and enter data into their CRM tools about their prospects, their contacts, and their accounts. And now we believe it's time to give something back to those end users, actual insights to make them more productive. And those insights often come in the form of recommendations, notifications, and inline analytics at the moment of truth. And underpinning all of those insights is obviously data. And the reason we're such big believers in leveraging data and analytics to drive a more intelligent customer experience is because, frankly, the business case is staggering. Some researchers, and this stats from The Economist, expect to see $3 trillion in economic impact related to analytics and AI just this year alone. So the real question isn't if you should take a data-driven approach to your customer experience efforts. The real question becomes how. How do you win at the game of analytics and make your business processes more intelligent? Well, the answer might surprise you. In some ways, it seems like a counterintuitive success pattern. When you ask companies how to determine success, they'll often say things like, we need beautiful dashboards, or maybe it's about, how accurate my model is, or the overall quality of my data. And those things are certainly important, no doubt. But when you talk to leaders in the space, leaders who are reaping the benefits of analytics and predictive insights, they're doing so at what we call the last mile. The last mile is where those insights get consumed by the end user. It could be in your agent console that's used in your call center. Maybe it's in a call down screen that you use with your inside sales reps, or maybe it's the forecasting tool that your field sales team uses. The companies that are having the greatest success, 87% of those companies are spending half of their analytics and AI budgets on the last mile. So if the last mile is so critical, how do you own it? How do you ensure success? Well, the first place to start is realizing that often what you're really trying to do is amplify behaviors. Getting employees or partners or customers to start doing things. Or maybe you're trying to get them to stop doing certain things. It's all about amplifying behaviors that have a positive impact on your business. And the way to do that is through a curated analytics experience, where your audience is exposed to a set of KPIs and insights that are well understood and consistent. It's not about everybody showing up to a meeting with their own version of a report or a spreadsheet and spending 30 minutes trying to reconcile differences. It's about exposing your audience to well-crafted analytics that are consistent and align with the goals and behaviors that we want to see amplified in our organizations. Now, in some cases, those behaviors that you want to amplify, they probably extend beyond a single department or a single team. And to fully realize the benefit of those insights and take action, you need to push that insight through a network of teams. Think of the classic example. Supply chain issues often reveal themselves in the call center or customer service processes. So how do we connect those two teams, the supply chain team and the customer service team? How do we connect those two teams and extend our customer experience processes across a broader set of stakeholders? And third, it's critical to establish feedback loops at the last mile to understand who's actually consuming and acting on those recommendations and insights, and frankly, who's not. And that's ultimately going to lead to having coaching moments with our audience. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to one of my favorite principles related to analytics, and that is sharing is caring. If you have a great insight, you don't want to keep it all to yourself. You don't want to bottle it up. You want all of your colleagues to benefit from that as well. Okay, so where does Salesforce fit into the mix? Well, it's also important to understand how Salesforce has evolved over the years. At first, it was an online sales application for capturing contact information and account data. But from those humble beginnings, it's actually evolved into a really broad customer experience and enterprise data platform. And now today, with the acquisitions of Tableau and Slack, we can surface insights anywhere and act on those insights everywhere. So why Tableau and Slack? Well, first, now you can put data at the center of your conversations and quickly extend your action framework and who can action on that information via Slack. And that's going to really allow you to scale that intelligence across your enterprise to a broad audience and hopefully accelerate your business outcomes. Okay, now we're going to show you how we can take those three elements that I mentioned, Tableau, Einstein, and Slack, and blend them together to drive a better customer experience and better insights for your organization. Okay, so this is a Tableau dashboard that you might use if you were a vice president of revenue operations or maybe a director of RevOps, and you wanted to assess how your annual recurring revenue is tracking. And so in this dashboard, we'll refer to that annual recurring revenue often as ARR. And what you can see here in our dashboard first, in this Tableau dashboard, is the overall headline. So this is my RevOps performance dashboard, and I can see that 7% of my ARR is at risk and requires action. And another 6% has essentially churned already. They're already out the door. So I want to dive a little bit deeper into what's going on here. I can see 4 widgets along the top. The first is my total ARR that's at risk, about 167 million. I can see the percentage of customers that are at risk, 13%. And then I can also see my total ARR that we're managing as a team. And then, interesting here, I can see the replacement costs. So based on the customers that are likely to churn, what would be the cost to replace those customers via some type of new customer acquisition effort? Okay. Now, down below, you can see by different product line, as well as based on market segment, enterprise, mid-market, and SMB, how our ARR is trending. And is it at risk? That's actionable. Or is it at risk and I can't take action? All right. From there, I've got another set of KPIs, and these are more customer success focused KPIs. I can see overall utilization of our solution. I can quickly spotlight what my customer success coverage looks like. How many customer success managers do I have covering my portfolio? What my average or median client ARR is, and then the percent downtime. Now, if I hover over some of these metrics, I can also see the impact by different segments, enterprise versus mid-market versus SMB. Now, what's interesting, if I highlight this little icon here, you can see this little picture of Einstein. If I was to click into that, I can actually see a predictive score around my attrition. Now, as I scroll down, I can get more granular into the details here. And we call this, going from the overall headline down to more granular information, we call that progressive disclosure. Now, via progressive disclosure, I can start to isolate by different product segments which customers are at risk for churning. And here we have a customer, health and equity. I'm actually going to click on this, and you'll see that it refreshes my prediction. and I can see the likelihood for this customer to churn. I can also see their downtime and their utilization. My downtime looks pretty high. My utilization obviously looks pretty low. I want to take action on this customer. I can potentially still save them, but I need to take action. One of the ways I could take action is actually by extending this insight out to one of my colleagues who maybe doesn't work in revenue operations or even in a traditional customer success role. They might not even be a traditional CRM user. So the way I can do that is through my integration with Slack. So combining Tableau and Slack together. The easy way to do that is to just click on this comments button right here. And you can see here, these are Tableau comments that are now Slack enabled. If I mention one of my colleagues, let's say @com. Product issue. Post this. Now, if we were to click over into Slack, I'll be able to see that information right here in my Slack feed. And in this instance, let's assume that maybe I work in engineering or quality control. I could review this dashboard, look at the insights, determine if this is an issue that I need to go solve, or maybe I want to route a case back to our customer success team. And to do that, I could come down right here and within Slack directly create a case. And just / type in case, enter the account name, and give a reason. Post that, it go ahead and creates a case for me. And you can see I got a notification back that a case has actually been created in Salesforce. So customer service agent now will actually get that in their queue and be able to start triaging the case. All right, so now we've seen how from a simple dashboard, I can look at predictive insights around customer churn, and then take that information and send it out to a broad set of stakeholders that can then take action from within Slack. If you'd like to learn more about how to combine Tableau, Einstein, and Slack together, please reach out to us at info@atrium.ai. And thank you for joining our webinar today.